Hello everyone, my name is Declan O'Donnell and I am a Vice President in Pramerica Services Ireland with responsibility for the Project Management Office. I am delighted and honoured to be representing Pramerica Services and indeed Ireland in the PMI Global Awards and would like to thank you for taking your time today to review our submission and hopefully we enjoy hearing our story. Pramerica Services is a wholly owned subsidiary of Prudential Financial Services, who are a US-based company with over $1 trillion worth of assets under management. Pramerica was established in the year 2000, and over the past 18 years we have grown considerably to over 1,600 employees today. Pramerica support Prudential's business units and financial corporate centres, and this gives us great visibility and gives us a horizontal view straight across the organisation, which allows us to strategically join the dots. It helps us to solve business challenges a little bit quicker. It allows us to execute with velocity and agility through our high-performing teams and our entrepreneurial mindset. The Pramerica PMO was established just over 5 years ago, and our 5 core services are project management, program management, project portfolio management, agile training, and agile coaching. And you hear some more about each of those services later in the presentation. But those core services have been built on the strong foundations and values that we've instilled throughout the organisation. And from day one, we've been determined to develop our PMO services, very much run it as a business. And to do that, we've challenged our PMs to be innovative and collaborative. We encourage them to have an entrepreneurial mindset. We empower them to go out and come up with new ideas. They have to be obviously focused on delivering a high quality product at all times, and in order to do this they need to ingrain themselves in the business units they work for and really understand the business value and purpose of the projects they are working on. We've implemented a global sourcing strategy to ensure we attract the best talent to the organisation, which complements our internal talent that we've identified and grown over the last 5 years. We also ingrain ourselves in the local community. We are very socially responsible. We encourage our people in the team to get involved in local clubs and societies. We've forged fantastic partnerships with local colleges and developed project management courses for not only our existing employees, but also to create that pipeline of talent for the future. So we're instilling the opportunities that project management gives to people in the local colleges and give people the opportunity to consider it as a career for themselves in the future. We also have a fantastic location here in the northwest of Ireland, which helps us attract a lot of people from all over the globe. And then once we get them here, we're very much focused on retaining that top class talent. We need that global diversity. We need the different cultures. We need people come with different ideas, and we want to retain them. So we focus very, very heavily on investing and upskilling those people. We give them opportunities to grow their careers. We have an active mentoring program here from day one that helps us give people not only the accreditation, the professional accreditation, the soft skills courses and training, but also gives them the opportunity to put that into practice as they're growing in their career. So there's a very strong learning culture here in the company, and there's a very good ethos of sharing knowledge within the group too. The team is very much a team-focused organisation where we are all there to support each other, and we have people of all grades from junior to mid to senior to management, etc., as you'll hear about further in the presentation as well. But without everybody coming together and supporting each other, we would not be able to achieve the success we have achieved in the last 5 years and grow the service the way we wanted to. So what's that in for the team? I suppose we like to say we're creating careers rather than jobs. We also are very keen that the modern day project manager, and we're very aware that the modern day project manager has to work flexible hours. So we let people come in later in the day and finish later in the day if it suits them. We give flexible, let people off at different times. We have people working remotely. Everybody has the ability to work remotely whenever it suits. There's an awful lot of give and take, and I think that's very important in the environments we work in today. There is a lot of demand on our people, but it has to work both ways. We've just moved into a fantastic new campus in the last year, which again has a great bit of buzz and excitement. The team are all there together. We can come together and have community events more regularly. and it's a fantastic working environment, and it's all about getting our employees engaged in what we're doing and trying to deliver that business value to our business partners. We're also delighted to announce that we now have a 3-site location, which is very much plays into our global delivery strategy. We have an office in El Paso, Texas, with over 200 employees, and about 10% of our PMO team are based down there. We also have PMs based on the East Coast in New Jersey predominantly, some in Connecticut as well, and that gives us something between 14 to 16 hours of coverage a day for our business partners. It also gives our team the opportunity to work on stretch assignments with different business units, and the opportunity to go to the US and work on more long-term secondments as well. So it's a fantastic, and there's a plenty of variety and diversity within the organization, and we have plenty of employee movement within the team as well. We give people opportunity to move about if they so wish, and it's proved us quite well over the last couple of years. In 2013, the PMO was identified as one of a number of professional services that we should explore the possibility of developing a centralized office to support our business partners in the US. I was given the opportunity to stand up a service and to develop a team of PMs to explore the possibility of adding real value to our business partners, I suppose. So towards Q3 2013, we started out with one business partner who, I suppose, took a leap of faith and took the risk of having being the first person to have project managers based over 3,000 miles away in the company. It was a massive challenge with different time zones and stuff, but thankfully through that initial engagement and the dedication of those early adopters, that we did prove the service could work from a remote location if you had the right mindset, the right talent, the right enthusiasm, and the right dedication. And those early months, we spent a lot of time developing templates, getting all the artifacts together that we used throughout the projects, putting the structures in place with our HR and our organizational structure. We had to develop job families and career paths. We had to identify talent management programs to select people that we would be converting into project manager roles in the future. And it all got off to a great success, and it put some solid foundations for us to head into 2014. By the end of 2014 then, our headcount had increased to about 29 people. We were working with 5 different business groups in Prudential. The formal training and accreditation programs were in place. We had a lot of people getting professional accreditation, which gave us that little bit of our business part, that little bit of confidence that we were serious about this. We were investing in people, and we were determined to make sure that people had the skills that were needed for the roles. We also blended this very much with our buy model, so it is a blend of build and buy, we like to call it, where we brought in that external experience to help us, execute efficiently from day one, but also to develop talent within the organization that would be there for the long haul, and we'd create that sustainable long-term service for our business partners. We also developed a communications strategy to keep people engaged and to spread the word, and also to attract more people from other teams in the organization. We wanted to create kind of cross-functional experience so that our project coordinators or project managers would be adaptable to whatever type of project come up, whether it's a business system project or an IT SDLC type project, or indeed an IT infrastructure project. And that again helped us to grow leading into 2015, where the service by the year end had increased to approximately 53 people. We were then supporting over 14 business groups across Prudential. We started looking at how we could, I suppose, diversify the service and add even more value to the projects and the teams we were working with. We also took great pride in looking externally across industry to see how trends and change were developing, and this gave us an opportunity to look into the project portfolio management space, where we started to think more about are we doing the right type of projects, is the right governance and control there, how do our SLT make decisions quicker about the projects that we're running, or how do we prioritize projects, all that good stuff. We also partnered at this stage with our local colleges, and we developed a higher diploma in project management, which we would use to put a baseline in place for our project coordinators or our junior PMs who are starting out on the PM career path. Again, the content, we developed content very closely with our local colleges. They got the national accreditation in place, and we take those people in placements for 2 months every year. So we take up to 10 people into placement, and that gives us the opportunity to see what they're like in the working environment. It gives those people the opportunity as well to see what we're like, and if all things go well, we convert them into full-time employees. We also spent a lot of time on our internal communications and our knowledge sharing platform. So we've created project management forums which meet every 2 months. We have lunch and learns that run every month. We have a PM community established, and there's a PM clinic that people could come and talk about some of the challenges they're facing on their projects. We also expanded our footprint in El Paso in Texas when we opened the new office down there. I personally went over and recruited some of the earlier project managers, and now we have a great team who are building experience year on year in El Paso as well, which gives us another string to our bow, because some projects just simply need to be managed out of the US, whether it's from a legal perspective or a compliance perspective. So to have a team of PMs focused on the same values that we have here in Ireland is fantastic to have, and it's we've also expanded it recently, and we now have some PMs based out of New Jersey and Connecticut as well, supporting some of the more business-facing projects that just need to be on the ground more often. Moving swiftly on to 2016, the growth continued. By year end, we were up to about 82 people on the team, and we were now supporting 17 business units. As well as portfolio management and project management, we were now given the opportunity to move into more enterprise-wide programs, larger scale cross-business unit programs. There was a change in the organization that was becoming more digitally focused, more customer-centric organization. So the traditional business units, siloed business unit model was, I suppose, being flattened a bit as well, and more business units are working together to build products that could work across the business unit rather than just focus on their own individual needs. And we, because of our strategic location, working across these business units, were given that opportunity to manage these enterprise programs, which again, a great mark of confidence in our service and our ability as a team to deliver on everything that had been asking them to do. We also, again, because of the changing environment and the more digitally oriented products that we're working on, there's obviously a greater need to get products to the market quicker. And one of the things we started looking at was introducing a more iterative service delivery model. And in order for that to be successful, we identified very quickly that we needed some experienced agile coaches to come in and help us to do that. I was very conscious from day one that the project manager skill set would have to evolve and develop over the years, and this was kind of reinforced around this time. As I say, we've seen at different conferences, we've seen other companies adapting a more agile approach, and we started looking into that ourselves. So we invested heavily in this again. We hired some very senior coaches who had done it with other organizations, and we started putting a framework in place that we could upskill our project managers so that they could be confident in delivering projects in both an agile or a waterfall environment. We were very much focused on creating, I suppose, expanding the skill sets of the team, get them to do that. And then we established our agile community around that. Once the rest of the organization started to see the PMO moving in this direction, they were very supportive of that too, and they tried to embrace the whole agile culture too. They asked us to expand the team, to go out and develop our service further, and we started doing that in 2017. That our agile coaches, as part of the PMO team, are now working across the organization to help PMs across the organization, but also able to help all the other disciplines required to have successful cross-functional, high-performing teams. Our headcount grew to 90 by the end of 2017. We were more or less working right across all the business units and corporate sectors at this stage, and we went out, and in order to get that re-endorsement for what we're doing from a coaching perspective, we became an IC Agile member of corporate organization, an MCO, which is a globally recognized certification for the company. And basically what that means, it's a body that was created by industry experts who are determined in developing agile practices and process around the mindset of the individual and growing the people to deliver on that, and rather than being just focused on the processes. So It's a fantastic organisation to be part of. Similar like large companies like Deloitte and Accenture, IBM, Salesforce, some big corporates like that, and really puts us in another playing level altogether, that we can provide agile coaching and training as an additional service to the PMO. We also have gone out and looked to see how we're doing from I suppose a prudential perspective. Firstly, we entered they have PM Council, Project Management Council Awards on an annual basis, which are open to all Prudential employees worldwide, whether they're managing projects or not. But it's very much focused on the PM discipline. And over the last 3 years, we've had 5 winners, including our PM of the Year in 2017. Other awards, including our PMs have won Leadership Awards, Risk Management Awards, Customer Focus Awards. So it's fantastic to see the strength and depth in the team, and that being recognised right across the globe, everywhere from Japan and Korea right across the US, over into Southern America, Brazil, Argentina. So it's very much a global company, and to see ourselves getting that recognition has been a fantastic achievement. Towards the tail end of 2017, we also entered the PMI Ireland's PMO of the Year Awards, because it was important to see, right, not only are we doing okay within our own company, but how do we stand up to the greater industry, and we were delighted to win PMO of the Year in Ireland last year, and that's what's brought us here today. As we moved into 2018, again, our growth is continuing. The larger the team, obviously, the important is to make sure everybody keeps the projects keep coming and the work's still there. So we obviously don't have the same kind of growth we had in the early years, but now it's just staying in that headcount, and we're more focused on delivering value as opposed to growing the team any further. We pretty much support everybody in Prudential at this stage. From the early days where we were considered as order takers, we've moved very much into the thought leadership space now. Our business partners look for us for direction and strategic support across the organisation. We've also gone externally. Again, the strength and the depth of the team makes me feel very proud. We have people speaking at Gartner conferences, at Agile camps across the globe. We're hosting PMI events here in our new building. We have people attending Agile and Lean Thinking events. We also have people performing at portfolio management conferences. So there's a great enthusiasm and desire in the team for standing taller and showing everybody what we've achieved and what we can do to further the project management discipline across the globe. And we also are very much focused on our corporate social responsibility side of things, and we try and give back to local community as best we can. We have Young Enterprise Awards, we have Spirit of the Community Awards, which again, it's all about instilling the right kind of values and ethos in the younger people of the community, and hopefully explaining to them what Pramerica does and what project management can offer them as a career for the future. So next I'd like to talk about the actual structure of the PMO and where we sit within the organisation here in Pramerica Services. So those 5 services I mentioned at the start can be rolled up into 3 core services, and that is Program and Project Management, Project Portfolio Management, and Agile Coaching and Training. The PMO office itself sits under the Strategy and Planning organisation here in Pramerica, and within each of the, I suppose, core services, we've created a kind of hierarchical structure to support and develop each of those individual disciplines. So, for example, under the Program and Project Management, which the biggest part of the team would be located, we have now 6 program managers or directors within that group, that they provide that management structure and support, as I say, to further develop the service and work with business partners on new opportunities, but also to provide the support for the younger people, the project coordinators on the team, as they're heading out into the industry for the first time. So that project coordination model is something that's worked very effectively for us over the recent times. It allows people to get experience in projects and basically work as a backup to a PM, a more senior PM, and that allows that PM to take on multiple projects where the project coordinator does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of doing the meetings and scheduling different sessions, the meeting minutes, and all that kind of stuff. Looking after artifacts, chasing out for updates, and helping building out some of the status reports. So the PMs get the opportunity to start on the more strategic elements of the projects and work at a higher level. So it's worked quite well. As I say, it gives people the opportunity to develop and grow, and also gives the PMs more visibility across the organization by taking on multiple projects. Likewise, on the project portfolio management place, we now have a program manager / director in there who main function is to develop the service and again support the people on our team. We have again junior, mid and senior level people working within that organization, and that is growing year on year as well. Our newest element of the team, a very important function of the team, is now our Agile coaching and training service, which has grown over the last 2 years in particular. We have a number of senior Agile coaches and a director of Agile coaching within the organization. We also have a number of senior Scrum Masters and Scrum Masters to promote the service, and we actually have a huge training academy there now where not only are we working on Scrum Master training and Agile project management training, but we're also helping other areas like product owner in particular, and we're developing content and getting structures of credit to deliver that training internally and saving thousands of dollars along the way by not having to use external companies for those type of training courses anymore. Next up, I'd like to just talk about some of the metrics and some of the stats around the service over the last couple of years and talk about the headcount in particular. So as I mentioned previously, we've had fairly constant growth over those initial years. It has leveled out a wee bit over the last number of years where we've had a nice sustainable figure that we're confident of again annually delivering value to our business partners. So we've gone from 8 probably by the end of 2013 up to 95 where we are today. And that workforce is spread across the US as well. We also have we now have 10% of our team based in El Paso, as I mentioned previously, and it gives us an additional dynamic to the whole service. The 90% of the team here are based in Letterkenny. A number of those will work remotely as well. They're not all located in Ireland and Letterkenny, but are located throughout Ireland as well. Experience levels on the team, we focus very seriously on building the right structures to support people. We didn't want to put people into any I suppose opportunities or projects that they wouldn't be successful in, and in order to do that I think it's very important to put that senior level and that management structure in place so that people aren't all dedicated to delivering projects, but that management structure is there to support the junior members of the team in particular and help them grow into the senior members of the future. So year on year we're as I say, bringing in those people from our local colleges and our mentoring programs, and that allows us to help promote our juniors to mids and our mids to seniors, and hopefully some of our seniors go into the management team as well. And not only that, we are also kind of a talent multiplier for the organization, because some of the skills that we have on the team, as you all know, are easily transferable to other roles within a large organization like this. So some of our PMs are now performing management roles within other teams. Some of them are delivering on technology projects in a different role. Some of them have moved into product owner roles. So we really are a talent multiplier and a value add to Pramerica services in general. As I also mentioned, we have been very active in trying to attract talent from all over the globe. Ireland, as you know, is quite a small country, but some of the largest technology firms in the world are located in Ireland nowadays. Unfortunately, we aren't in Dublin or Belfast or some of the bigger cities. We're located in quite a rural location, so we have to work that little bit harder to attract talent from all the world. But we have pretty successful to date. I think we're punching way above our level. We have people from everywhere, from Canada right across the globe, all through South America, all over Europe, Africa, India, to the Philippines, and to Australia, New Zealand as well. So it's very much a global workforce where we have the ability to experience different cultures and bring different thinking and thought process to the projects. And again, because of that knowledge sharing culture that we've installed in the team, it all adds value to the overall service, and it's something we're all very proud of here in Pramerica. Next, I'd just like to take a bit of a deeper dive into some of those figures that we've seen on the previous screen and explain a wee bit more about the service. So from the figures we talked about, as you can see, 70% of the projects we support are within what we call our systems, our IT area, and that includes either SDLC type projects and also infrastructure projects. Whereas the other 30%, we would class them as business facing projects. We have a pretty much 50-50 split in terms of gender, male and female. 49% at the minute of the staff is female. Again, that creates a great mix within the organisation. And from a talent perspective, we have attracted 52% of our staff come from our internal talent management programs. While the other 48% were recruited externally to bring that experience and that global diversity, I suppose, to the organisation. So that's that very much that build and buy. And again, it's worked well for us to date, and hopefully it'll serve us well into the future too. From those internal 52% of the team, nearly half of them again came from different areas in the company where we identified talent. We basically developed that talent, and those people have moved on to be very effective project managers, portfolio managers, demand management analysts, all those type of roles within the team over the last number of years too. And again, 53% of the internal transfers would have gone through our dedicated, focused and well-structured mentoring programs where people get an opportunity to develop their knowledge, achieve external accreditation, whether it's PMI, CAPM, Prince 2, or Agile project management. Those skills are developed on the training programs, but they also get the opportunity to work alongside existing PMs and to see what they really do. And bear in mind, these people are going on these mentoring programs when they have their own full-time day jobs. So it shows the dedication and determination that these people have to pursue a career in project management. And we're just delighted to be able to give them that opportunity to do so. As I mentioned previously as well, a number of our existing team work remotely around the country. They're scattered all over Ireland, which again gives us another opportunity to attract talent from around the country. We can work flexible teleworking capabilities around the team. We have great technology, and it's easier to do these meetings remotely at times, because a lot of the projects that we're working on, the teams are actually based in the US, so it means that we don't have to get people to relocate if they don't want to, if they're comfortable in their own communities, regardless of what part of Ireland. And we're happy to assist them, and as I said, through the technology we have in place, they're quite able to do this very easily. The success and the growth we have experienced in the PMO over this past few years has elevated our position within the organisation quite considerably in the last few years. As I mentioned previously, with a team of 95 seasoned professionals with a kind of horizontal view across the wider Prudential family, it gives us a fantastic opportunity now to kind of leverage that cross-functional experience to help us adapt and change our business model, increase our effectiveness and the velocity that we do things through, and by introducing, I suppose, more innovative, creative ideas and getting teams to collaborate more successful, we're now adding real value to the Pramerica wider team, and in turn Prudential gain the real value of that. So just in terms of the strategy for Pramerica, I suppose it's divided into 4 key areas. As I mentioned previously, the PMO sits in the strategy and planning organization. Within that, we have other teams such as the analysis and design team. We have our workforce management, and we have our communications team. Then we have the IT guys we call our systems team, and that covers everything from architecture right through to engineering and testing and to the end user experience. We also have a very strong professional business service, which includes things like data science, actuarial, financial, and creative services. It also covers intelligent process automation and artificial intelligence. So we now, as I say, have a lens right across that organisation, and all these teams look for us to help. And in order to do that, the final building block on the team is that technology, innovation, and support services team who look after the technology infrastructure. They also look after information, data, and cyber security, the production support, incident management, and of course the DevOps piece as well. So these are only some of the core services that are available here in Pramerica. But because, as I say, through our successes to date, they look for us now to use that strategic thinking and that cross-functional experience to help all those teams grow and deliver on their business value to their business partners. So as I said before, it has really elevated us. We are now not just focusing on project delivery. We've kind of grown into that more strategic partner as well for the other functions within Pramerica. The mission statement for the PMO is quite simple. We want to deliver on business outcomes in every engagement we take on. And we do that by making sure we make the correct strategic investments, that we control and manage our costs, and that we optimize the usage of our resources at all times. We have 6 core objectives to help us deliver on that mission, and they are executional excellence, talent elevation, relentless improvement, business value, collaboration, and global delivery. From an executional excellence perspective, we have to continually deliver a high quality focused project and always deliver within the cost constraints of the project, but more importantly deliver a more cost effective solution to our business partners than some of the competition that we face. Traditionally, Prudential would have utilized a lot of external consultancy companies for their project managers, and the fear was always that as they were not Prudential employees, there's a risk of that IP and that knowledge leaving the company as soon as the projects. There was no continuity in the teams from one project to another, as there's no guarantee you get the same consultant back every time. So as full-time Prudential employees, we were able to mitigate against those some concerns and risks that were associated with external consultants. We've also focused very closely on our talent elevation programs, as I mentioned before, and trying to develop careers and promote our talent within the organization. We empower our teams to be innovative, creative, to try out new things, try and minimize the risk of failure. We, as I say, we have a culture there that we want people to try out new ideas and suggestions, because there's always a better way of doing things, and that's the kind of ethos of the company. And that helps us install this a notion of relentless improvement. So we continually review and refine our processes. We always want to introduce the newest and best practices. We're very aware that if you don't adapt and change, you will very quickly become extinct in the modern environment that we work on. So likewise, our PMOs have to, I say, create or develop new skills and come up with new ideas and currently refine the process. The day of just being the kind of guard keepers and providing that governance and control function is changing. There's certainly a need for it, but we have to be more adaptive, more creative in some of the solutions we come up with. And that ultimately helps us deliver on business value. In order to be really aware of the business value, we need our PMs to be ingrained within those business units and fully understand the purpose and the missions and the values of those business partners that they support. We want to very much transition away from just following a plan and ticking boxes, so to speak, and to concentrate more on value-based delivery, that the projects we work on are going to add real value and help the business deliver on their strategic objectives. One of the best ways of doing this is, of course, is promote collaboration. None of us can achieve success in our own isolated environment. We need to work more collaboratively across the organization, and we as PMs are ideally placed to drive that kind of holistic change and introduce more organization throughout the company. We also very much want to expand our global footprint forward. This 3-state location has been working quite well for us to date, and there's certainly more opportunities for getting more PMs based in the US. there's potential. There's plenty of, as I say, compliance or regulatory projects that have to be managed in the US that we haven't touched in before. But by having a presence over there with the same values and ethos and work ethic that we have installed in the team here, I'm confident that we will get much more opportunities in the future. Likewise, El Paso is a lower cost base than maybe the East Coast or the West Coast of America. So that gives us an opportunity to replicate the success of the team that we've developed here in Pramerica. And ultimately, these 6 objectives will help us deliver on that mission statement, as I mentioned at the start, which is to deliver on business outcomes at all times. So I now want to drill down a little further and explain the individual objectives for each of the key functions or our core services. So first up, we have the program and project management service. On a project management perspective, again, the focus is always on delivering a high quality product or solution within the structures of each individual engagement. So whatever business unit we support in Pramerica, they may have their own standards and processes that we have to follow. So it's important that our PMs adapt into that and deliver on those unique solutions within the constraints of each of those engagements. From a program management perspective, we are now delivering, I suppose, on groups of interrelated projects for our business partners. Again, through the experience and the credibility of the service and the success we achieved to date, we've been given more project management responsibilities. And we are expected not only to deliver on those programs, we are also expected to provide oversight, support and leadership to the teams and indeed the wider organizations. More recently, we've also moved into the enterprise project management space. And again, it takes us to another level where we really have to provide that strategic direction, the leadership to manage large scale enterprise-wide projects which touch on multiple business units across Prudential and very large teams, and trying to build products that will service multiple business units and ultimately our end customers. We are a very customer-centric organization, and it's by developing products that expand that whole portfolio of services is where it adds real value to the end customer. And thankfully, we now have the opportunity to operate in that enterprise environment. I suppose the key objective for our project portfolio management function is again to create a centralized service consisting of SMEs and top class talent that can execute on delivering project portfolio management services right across the enterprise. There are 6 key functions that we need to take into consideration in order to achieve that, and they can be best summarized by a few simple questions. From a project intake perspective, are we investing in the right things? Portfolio planning, are we optimizing our capacity? From resource management or financial management perspective, I suppose, how are we spending? How well are we delivering? How well are we performing? And are we realizing the expected benefits that we set out at the start of the project? In order to do all this, it'll involve the maturity of the service. We need to create better data visualization projects. We need to create dashboards and monitor trends so that our decision-making team can make those decisions quicker, I suppose, in the project. It's real-time decision-making as opposed to, looking at historical data, and that will drive that decision-making process going forward. We need to create more scenario-based planning. We need to consider, right, how do we move projects around? How do we reprioritize projects? What is the best thing for maximizing our resources? Look at shorter models such as 90 days as opposed to 12 months out to increase the accuracy of our models and resolve contention issues maybe a lot quicker. We need to fine tune the whole intake process. We need to look at the demand and capacity models. There's plenty for us to do in this space. It's going to be an exciting opportunity for us. We're all really looking forward to doing it, and we're going to involve a lot of skills along the way. It's still very early in our I suppose, we're in the infancy, I suppose, of this service, and there's fantastic opportunities to grow this even further in the years ahead. I suppose the key objective for our Agile coaching and training service is really to develop and grow that service, not only to focus on project management and product owner type roles or Scrum Master type roles and Kanban lead type roles, but also to see how we can develop the service to the benefit of the wider Pramerica and indeed Prudential team. So we've divided the team and the responsibilities of the team into 4 key functions as well. We have training, coaching, mentoring, and support. From a training perspective, we have put some fantastic structures in place. We've attracted some top talent to the team. We've got those coaches accredited now internationally with professional accreditation, and those are delivering courses that will benefit the full organization. So that has allowed us to develop a training roadmap, which not only can we provide accreditation, but we also provide opportunities for people to put some of those learnings and trainings into practice too on the projects they work internally here in Pramerica. So we've very much developed a kind of an academy-based approach. We've elevated Pramerica to another level by having, as I say, industry-recognized training programs that we do not have to rely on the knowledge and skills externally, thereby saving a considerable amount of money to the company. We've also customized some training programs outside of the accredited training path, that are tailored towards specific needs of particular projects. We've also created a number of boot camps, particularly Scrum Masters and product owners, to provide career progression opportunities for our PMs, to move and evolve into different type of models going forward. We've also developed our Agile project management course and got that accredited. So, the employees in Pramerica will benefit from this considerably. They're constantly being upskilled. We're developing more T-shaped people, and that's only going to benefit the organization going forward. Then once we do the training, it is important that we develop a coaching capability to support people post-training. So when they come back, and how do they implement the training and the knowledge that they've gained into their teams. So we're tracking and coaching that and providing that structure so they do have people they can reach out to for help. And again, we've divided that into 3 areas. We focus on business level coaching, we focus on the technical down at the team level, I suppose, on the delivery side of things, and we've also our coaches helping change the organization and some of the structure and some of the impediments we have there, providing the expertise that they've gained from other organizations. We've developed a fantastic mentoring structure in place here again. As you've already heard, one of our ethos is very much on developing talent and sharing knowledge across the organization, and this team is no different to that. We want to give people the opportunity to try out those skills that they're learning from the training and the coaching. So we give them an opportunity to put it into practice on some small projects in a contained, safe environment, so they can learn and adapt and evolve and change and all that good stuff. It also gives them the opportunity to develop careers that they mightn't have thought or considered about in the future. And again, I suppose it's creating that sustainable talent pipeline. And finally, the support piece. So not only are we doing this within our own PMO organization, but in order to be very effective, we have to maybe focus on the culture and the structure and the talent within the organization, which is again core objectives for all of us here in Pramerica. We very much foster that culture, entrepreneurial mindset, and relentless improvement, and breaking down silos, and giving people an opportunity to try out new skills. And in order to do all that, we will have to look at some of the models that have served us well over the past 18 years, but just such things as rewarding individuals. We need to move to rewarding teams. We need to look at how those teams work together. Do they need to be co-located? Do we need to break down some of the silos that exist within our structure? So again, very exciting times for this team. Plenty of opportunities, and plenty opportunities for us, I suppose, to evolve our skill sets as PMs, and help us to evolve into that more strategic leadership and provide that organizational directional change that is required. So hopefully you have a good feel for the structure of the PMO at this stage, and some of the objectives we've put in place, and some of their areas of focus. And now I want to talk about in terms of those 6 key objectives that we laid out earlier on, how are we doing so far? So from a results perspective, let's take a bit of a deeper dive into what we have achieved. On the execution excellence objective, we have, I suppose, ingrained and developed a quality obsessed culture. It is very cost effective. We consistently deliver value in terms of financial, but also in terms of quality of our product. And that has been recognized by our business partners across the organization as they continually nominate our PMs for both individual awards and for team awards. And I suppose, as I say, when we put ourselves out to the industry for recognition, we also achieved great success here in Ireland to date. And hopefully we'll see similar success in the current competition we're in. From a talent elevation perspective, we've invested heavily over the last number of years and have been rewarded for that investment through our retention figures. And one of the key things to that is that people are achieving individual accreditation that stays with them. But we have found that's helping us retain that talent because, as I say, from an organization perspective, it's a fantastic commitment for the company to invest that kind of annual spend year on year. You'll see from some of the figures there, some of the people in the team have gained accreditation in PMP and Agile Project Management and Prince 2. They've obtained multiple certifications. Across the team, we're very focused on developing as people's careers. So 40% of the team have achieved promotions already in the short time that they've been with the company. And considering their overall service has been only in place for 5 years, the majority of the team might have only actually been with us over the last 2 or 3 years. So we're way ahead in terms of the other services here and developing and promoting people on the team. Again, our internal mentor programs have been a huge success. We're able to convert 84% of the people who attended those programs into full-time roles in our team. And again, probably the other 16%, the only reason we haven't brought them on is because they got promotion maybe in their existing roles. And they're using the skills that they've learned from our mentoring programs to help them further in their own careers outside of the PMO. We have established some very strong partnerships and courses with the local colleges, both here in Ireland and in Texas. Again, that's going to help us promote project management as a career. And show people that there's plenty, although industry is changing to more agile and iterative delivery, there's always going to be a need for good, strong project managers. The skills that they learn as a project management, as I said before, are easily transferable into all types of roles. We're still going to need good agile project managers. Waterfall projects are not going to go away for the foreseeable future. So we very much have a kind of hybrid culture that we want to make sure our people can adapt and change to whatever kind of environment they're working in. And again, getting that IC Agile accredited training recognition is a great feather in our cap to have, because it helps us, as I say, not only develop training courses, but provide actual accreditation that's recognized globally to our employees is a nice thing to be able to do. And it also gives us the reassurance that we're teaching the right type of content and we're delivering on the right outcomes as laid out by, as I say, an international body of experts. From a relentless improvement perspective, we've now introduced the CEB Entrepreneurial PM Competency Model. Again, puts a lot of structure around the stuff we're doing. It focuses a lot on the soft skills required for, in the science of project management. And how it helps people to develop those soft skills that are so important into influencing and negotiating and getting stuff done and managing risk and bringing people along with you. From a business value perspective, we are very much moving in the right direction. I think we've transitioned very nicely over the years from maybe being those initial order takers to more of thought leaders and strategic partners. As I say, the likes of the International Training Academy and driving holistic change across the organisation again has elevated our or stature within the organization, and having that, I suppose, that considerable footprint across the whole organization gives us great confidence going forward. It means that we're able to focus on more business outcomes because we have the strength and depth, and we have that kind of horizontal view across the organization. And having people so ingrained in the individual business and understanding and becoming those deep students of the business, it gives us great insight into what's expected of us. Again, on the collaboration box, we've done some great work to date in there. We're very much breaking down departmental and capability silos, helping create these cross-functional collaborative teams focused on business outcomes at all times. We've developed that internal training and coaching capability. We are a talent enabler for the wider organization. So we've achieved a lot of collaboration goals as well. And finally, our global delivery objective. By having some kind of presence, it's not a huge team in New Jersey yet, but it's something that we can build on. The foundations are in place there to develop that further. And also with the 10% of the team based in El Paso, we are now able to take on more opportunities than we've ever taken on before. And it removes some of the dependency on the team here in Ireland to try and work out of ours. So it should improve, everybody's quality of life and give people a better work-life balance and stuff by having that cover across 3 different locations and extending the working day for our business partners. It's a great luxury to have, and it's something again that puts us on a higher level altogether. So I suppose to summarize in terms of results, we've achieved a hell of a lot to date. There's still plenty to do. It's exciting times for us, and we're really looking forward to building on the foundations that we've put in place so far. So what's next for the PMO in Pramerica? Well, as I say, we want to continue and play a key role in the development and the evolution of Pramerica services as a company. We will pay particular focus on our organizational goals and in particular on our 3 key areas of improvement, and that is talent, culture, and structure. They summarize, I suppose, the most important elements of the success of the PMO to date, and it's important that we develop and build on that success as we go forward into the rest of 2018 and in the years ahead. So from a talent perspective, we're going to continue to invest and expand our global presence. We're going to increase the skills development. We are very focused on developing T-shaped skills. We want our PMs to be able to go deep in our particular discipline, to be absolute experts in our individual areas, whether it's project, program, portfolio, or agile coaching and training. We want to have that deep knowledge of each of those particular disciplines while also having appreciation of all the other skills that are required for project teams to be successful. So it's giving people that visibility across the whole organization, and how to teach them to respect and work with other skill sets and to develop a best in class product, introduce that kind of thinking and best in class techniques as well. And all that requires considerable investment. So we are, I suppose, a company who is very focused on developing talent, and we will continue to do so in the future to ensure we not only attract that top talent, but also to retain that top talent to help develop our internal talent as well. We will continue to focus on our culture. We are very focused on embedding that entrepreneurial mindset I've mentioned throughout the presentation, and encouraging our teams to be creative, be innovative, to adapt that entrepreneurial competency model we talked about. We also want to create a culture that is continually looking to improve the way we do things and embed that focus of having concentrating on relentless improvement, so to speak. We want to continue to break down silos wherever possible, get teams working together, get more cross-functional, collaborative, high-performing, co-located teams that we know will deliver a better quality product in a much faster period of time as well, and that they're focused on delivering and continually delivering business value. From a structure perspective, there's a lot still to do here as we transition away from project-driven delivery to more product-driven delivery. We need to review our funding models and how these projects are funded. A lot of the structures in place are antiquated, I suppose, and need to evolve and adapt as we go forward. And we need to be able to embrace those type of changes. We also need to make sure our employees engage and are happy to go with us on the journey and they do not feel threatened. So in order to do that, we have to make sure they're aware, and we have strong communication programs in place. We introduce new awards and recognition systems for people maybe going on training and how they're putting some of their training into practice. We need to develop, as I say, the right kind of systems around that. We also need to look at some of the governance and control process and how do we bring in our audit or risk and compliance teams into that as well. We need to definitely streamline some of the models we have in place to make sure that we can deliver that value quicker. So it's definitely exciting times ahead of us. I hope you've enjoyed hearing our story today. We're delighted to be able to participate in this competition and to represent not only our company but our country. And once again, I'd like to thank you for giving us that opportunity. Yeah, just to close, thank you for that opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from you in the not too distant future.